Hello, YouTubers. Hey, wanted to give a quick update or a tutorial on how I went about, fixing my car. I see a lot of YouTube videos out there for changing the ignition lock cylinder, but not one that kind of completes the whole picture. And I had to kind of piece together from a lot of YouTube videos, which, by the way, great videos, love the videos. I'm very glad people are doing this and putting great videos out there to educate people. And I want to be part of that, right? So I'm making this video to educate others as to what I went through. A job that you can kind of do for a lot less than what it costs to take to a dealership and things like that. Anyway, what I have here is a Honda 2002 CRV. Has about 150,000 miles on it. And when you read all the YouTube videos, it looks like around the 150,000 mile mark, the ignition lock cylinder goes bad. What it does basically is that you're not able to turn it. You're not able to turn the key. You put the key in, but you're not able to turn it. You're not able to crank it because, the cylinder parts go bad and they jam up. There's a lot of YouTube videos on how to take this whole thing apart and go in and change the pin and thing. I mean, for me, that's very complicated. I'm not going to get into that. I see a lot of people do it for under 50 or 60 bucks. Get into the cylinder and play with the cog and the wheels and actually make it right, make the old one work right. I don't want to get into that because it's a lot of my time and I don't have that kind of time. And I also see a lot of people buy this part for a lot more, 450. There was a YouTube video guy who paid over 480 bucks for this part here, which is the ignition lock cylinder. And I don't think you need to pay that kind of money. You can get it for 285, like I did, and I got it on Amazon. So I just went to Amazon, put in the part number. The part number I got from the dealer's website, the service website. I took that part number, searched it in Amazon, and found this ignition lock cylinder for $285. And pretty much what I spent on this project of changing this is just that, $285. Plus I spent $3 on a tap screw, something like this, a tap screw. Okay, so let me get to what I did here. First off, this whole part is brand new now, and I haven't fully fitted it up yet because I just wanted to make sure it still runs, and it does. And so I just need to tighten the bolts, things like that. And then what you see here is the old part. So why do I have both of them in here, right? There was a YouTube video guy who gave me this idea. He said, you don't have to program your new key. This is my old key. And he said you could just use your old key, hooking up these two cables that are supposed to go into the new one. Hook it up, keep them hooked up to the old Immobilizer unit. This is called the Immobilizer unit. It comes apart from the old one, okay? And so he hooked it up to the old one and then left the key close enough. Look, you can see here, the key just goes into a hole. If you keep it close enough to the old Immobilizer unit, this sends a signal to the key chip, and the key chip sends a signal back, and it helps the car start. And you'll see in just a second that it works. Anyway, coming back. So the biggest challenges in this project was taking this old one apart. And how do you take the old one apart? You can see there's a lot of YouTube videos on there is a dead bolt that they put on these things. And okay, so here's the old one. Obviously the Immobilizer unit goes here, and I've taken that off. But you can see that the old one has these little these screws which don't have this. These are the holes I made. It doesn't have a way to grip on it. Why? Because they are basically shear bolts. And what are shear bolts? This is the one that came off the new one, right? So as and when you tighten this bolt head literally comes off and then leaves you with something like this. It's a flat surface. So if you look at other YouTube videos, for the ignition lock cylinder, they talk about making a hole on top of the screw, and and then trying to drill it out. And then some people even suggest making notches and trying to slowly tap it out. I tell you what, I didn't have the patience for that. So what did I do? As you can see, I basically cut through the freaking cut through the freaking clamp and just pried it open and sent the whole thing crashing down. I just pushed it down and it fell. So I don't know. There are a lot of guys who say the drilling is very complicated. It takes a lot of time, and it does. And it didn't work for me. It didn't even move the screw. And then I tried tapping very gently. And then I tapped it pretty hard, and it still didn't work. None of these screws don't move, guys. So especially after 150,000 miles, I think where you see YouTube videos. I mean, if they're successful, they're successful. But I'm not able to take these shear bolts off. One of the reasons why I left it out this time, I went to Home Depot, found a exactly similar metric bolt, which is I think M8 or M10, 1.25 inch long metric bolt is available in Home Depot. I bought that, and that's the one I put on back here, which hasn't been tightened yet, but. Yeah, these shear bolts can give you a lot of pain. So and this was the biggest part of the project, was trying to freaking get the old one off. Once I got the old one off, the project's pretty simple. So one of the things that you have to do in order to get better access to the steering column, and you can see my steering column is kind of slumped down. One of the things you have to do is to take off these 4 bolts. And DJ, you want to show the 4 bolts here? Down here there are 4 bolts back there, and if you take the nuts off these 4 bolts, the whole steering column drops, and now it gives you a lot better access to to cut this thing off, which is what I did. So once I cut this thing off, I have a lot more access. I was easily able to cut this off. Once I made the decision to just go for it and cut it, it was a lot easier. Previously, I was jacking with these bolts, and man, it was so hard. But once I made the decision to cut it, it went much faster. So once I cut it, then I put the new one on. This whole part is $285, guys. In AutoZone, it was $350. And in Advanced Auto Parts, they were selling it for $550. The dealership wants $550 also. But Amazon had a seller called Quick Parts, and they had it for $285, and it works perfectly fine. So the next thing about programming, right? So this is another scam, right? These guys, the dealerships do is they want a lot of money just to freaking scam the key. Program the key. So what one YouTube video guy suggested is, hey, you can use the old Immobilizer unit, hook up all those cables back to the old one, leave the key close enough, and then if you started with your new key, this is the new key, and this has not been programmed because I didn't do any programming, guys, programming of the key, and this is a 2002 Honda CR-V. All right, so he said if you keep it close enough to the old Immobilizer unit, so I'm going to tape all this up and kind of hang it here somewhere, because I'm not going to pay these dealerships any kind of money for programming or anybody to come out here, because everybody who wants to come out here, the locksmiths who want to come out and do the programming, they want another $150. I mean, I think all this is a scam. I mean, I can buy the whole tool to program for $300, but I'm never going to use it, so what's the point? Anyway, I know people are trying to make money, but I think there are a lot easier methods here to get this job done. And this YouTube video is basically for all you DIYers like me who wanna understand what's going on and try to do it a lot cheaper. Anyway, so if I keep the key close enough to the old unit, and see I got this unit hanging. I don't know if I need this or not, but it seems to be working, so I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not gonna touch it. Like I said, I minimized my time on the whole project. I don't want to spend any more time than I have to, and keep it minimal. Anyway, so I put the key in there. I'm going to tape it all up, like I said. This is the new key. It's not being programmed. and when I start it up, it starts up fine, right? So this starts up fine, right? And so I'm getting ready to put all this back together, and I thought I wanted to show how that without programming the new key, you can use the old key that was already programmed, which was the one that caused the jam in the old ignition lock cylinder. Just by using the old key, you can start the car up, and so it's running fine. And this is the new key that I comes with the new ignition lock cylinder. And you can see that if I take this old key out, and I'm going to leave it there, not close to this thing anymore, but if I just leave it there and I try cranking it now, it keeps cranking, but it will never start. It will never start. The reason being, it will never start. The reason being that this key, you need this key to send the old programming code back to the car. And there's a lot of folks who say that eventually the key gets programmed, things like that. I don't know. I'll find out, I guess. But look, when I put the key back in, and this is just a hole, guys. It's just going into a plastic, like a hole. It's just a hole. This key just needs to be close to the old immobilizer unit, so it sends the signal back and forth. So now I turn it, and it starts up perfectly fine. All right, so just wanted to make this video to show you all how this is done. So my total cost for this project was $290 bucks. That's about it. I spent $3 on that screw, like I said, the drill bit, and 285 bucks on the ignition lock cylinder, which was shipped to me for free. Yeah, I spent $3 on this. This helped me cut through this thing here. And the new ignition lock cylinder is 285 bucks, shipping free. So you can get this done, guys, for 285 bucks. It's a very simple project. The only thing is, I would say, don't jack with these screws. Just go ahead and cut the tape, cut the band over it, and then just drop the whole thing, because you're never going to use that again. Anyway, thanks y'all. Hope this helped.